guys, Happy New Year! Happy New Year, guys. Welcome to 2022 and welcome to the first video, my first video for 2022. And we are coming back with a bang. Yes, you saw the topic, how and why I left Saudi Arabia for the Caribbean that is Grenada. But first, I have to toast to the new year. Lots of subscribers, engaging subscribers, a lot of possibilities for you in the midst of impossibilities, good health, good wealth, everything, just soft life, easy life. That's my own affirmation for this year. I don't want to work so hard for little results. I want to work little and get a lot of results. I think that from the past years, everything that you have worked for will increase exponentially. Amen. Amen. Let's drink to that. Cheers. Mazel tov. So good. Red wine is my thing, but the white wine is also good. So that's all I'm going to sip because I do not drink while working. What do you mean, Abby? Where is the work? YouTube is my work. It's a lot of work to be on YouTube. Go and ask other YouTubers. But I just had to do it because it's actually 5 o'clock somewhere, right? So that's all we're going to do. So let's go right into the video. First of all, let me tell you clearly that Saudi Arabia is a beautiful country. I think everybody should experience Saudi Arabia. Forget about the things you hear on media. Saudi Arabia is a beautiful country, and more so, it's opening up now because there's a new king, a very vibrant young king. So he is making it very, very sociable for people to come to Saudi Arabia. But when I was there, it wasn't really the case. So I am going to put you through the story, the culture shock, everything, the experience that I had in Saudi Arabia that kind of facilitated my urge to leave that place for Grenada. I want you to watch till the end of the video because you are going to get a lot of lessons from my lifestyle in Saudi Arabia. Guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Abby Green, popularly known as Boo Boo from Boo Boo's Boulevard. I have a lifestyle blog called boobosboulevard.com. Here I share my mom life in the Caribbean, productivity tips, and life in general, and how to balance it all. So if you love all of these things that I just mentioned, please press the subscribe button, press the bell icon so that you get notified whenever I post my videos, okay? And make sure you watch till the end of the video. And if you love the content that I'm giving to you, make sure you like it, write some comments down there so that I can interact with you. About 9 years ago, I went to Saudi Arabia. How did I go there? My husband was working there at the time. We were courting then. So when I got married to him, immediately I had to join him over there. You know, we spoke about the issues of the cultural issues there, if I could cope. Of course, I was so in love. I'm still in love, but I was like, don't worry about it. I can do, as far as you're by my side, it's fine. It's fine. And all I needed to do was just go to Google and check out the culture of the Saudi Arabians. But when I actually took the trip, that was when my whole life changed. I was dealing with the fact that my life was changing from being a single girl to a married woman. My life was also changing, leaving all that I knew to a totally different place with a very restrictive culture. So what did I do? And we had a connecting flight in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. So as the flight was going to Ethiopia, that was when I just had this burst of emotion. Like everything I held up, you know, the excitement of going with your husband and everything, I had not processed anything. Was, you know, when you're silently wailing, I just turned to the window and tears were just dropping uncontrollably. I was gasping for air. I was thinking of my parents. I was thinking about what I was leaving behind, and I was looking at all these people that I'm seeing that, like, is this my life, you know? Normally you see the ladies are supposed to wear this long black gown they call the abaya. I used to have them a lot, but I had to give them out. This long gown that they call the abaya, and they have to dress in the hijab, which covers their hair, neck region, and the shoulder region. Some people could cover their faces. Most of the Saudi Arabians will cover their faces, but if you're a foreigner, you don't have to cover your face. On reaching into the plane that was heading to Saudi Arabia, for the first time, I saw a woman who covered everything from her fingers to her feet, all covered in black. And her eyes, the space that was supposed to be where she was going to see through, she had the black lace covering it. So it was all dark. When I saw that, that was my first culture shock. I said, I don't understand what's going on here. Then I saw in the airplane, I saw a lot of men who had just white towels around their waists and one just over their shoulder, and they had nice luggage that they were pulling with. But I was wondering what these people were doing. I found that they were going to Mecca for pilgrimage. That's the holy city. And that was another culture shock. I had never seen something like that in my life before. So I knew I was in for it. On reaching Saudi, I found out it was deserted. We got there in the daytime and it looked like a ghost town. A ghost town. And as soon as it was like morning, like 10 a.m., it starts getting very hot. Very hot. So most people don't come out around that time during the daytime. So I kept wondering, I was like, this is like a ghost town. Like, what's going on here? Let me emphasize that we were not in the city part of Saudi Arabia. We were in one of the little towns of Saudi Arabia. So the cosmopolitan cities would have definitely be vibrant by this time nonetheless. But this one was not it. So it was quiet. It was a quiet ride. Everywhere was dusty, but despite the fact that everywhere was dusty, the men had their white overflowing gown. It was pristine, very clean, despite the dust, So everything was going well. And, the first outing, I found out, like, I went out with my husband to the supermarket. It was a big mall, went to the supermarket, and a colleague of his saw him and they hugged and they had this cheek-to-cheek greeting. And I was like, hey, hold up. What's going on here? And knowing my husband to be very masculine, I was like, what's going on here? I found out that that's how the men greet. They could shake hands, but people who are like good friends or you've not seen for a long time, or siblings, you do a cheek to cheek, And the females too. The females, how they greet is that they would hug and you do the cheek to cheek. Like, so trust me, your girl, as soon as I knew that one, I am naturally a hugger. So I was like, how many times do you want that? Like, you could go as long as you want, but the normal one would be 3 times to 7 times. Language was a barrier because I didn't know Arabic at the time. My husband could speak Arabic, and it was a problem for me. I couldn't communicate very well, and there was no room for you to even communicate with outsiders, because you as a woman, you're not supposed to move around alone. You should have a companion with you. If you're married, it should be your husband or a male sibling or a male relative, maybe father, brother. But if you are not married, you have to be around other women to move around. You are not supposed to be on your own. That is how the Saudi people walk about. You know, when you see your husband's colleagues and everything, that you just say hi and all that, that was not the case. The man would have to interact on your behalf, and if he gives permission, then you can talk to a colleague or the friend. So that's what the friend too has to seek permission to actually talk. Not like they say, can I talk to your wife? But if the husband says, oh, come and say hi to this person, so that's actually a subtle permission, you know. Whereas this permission also goes as far as in the hospital. The hospital where you go for like my antenatal clinics, and even when I was delivering my baby, the male gynecologist was seek for permission to actually treat you. They will seek permission from you, they will seek permission from your spouse. So that is how it goes. Most times the people from there would actually want their fellow gender to treat them. So that's how it goes. Public spaces, you don't go mixing, genders don't go mixing up. In the hospitals, there are places for males and there are places for females. Fast food joints, male sides, female sides, and they'll also have the family side. The family side are actually like cubicles where they barricade with black curtains. So when you go into, just imagine going to KFC, you go and you sit in a cubicle, then there is a black curtain to cover you from the rest of others. So that is how privacy is really regarded here. I've made mistakes sometimes where I go to the male side and they'll just like, you see their eyes just like, no, 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 female, female, like beans, like it's called girl in Saudi. So like beans, and like, oh, they kind of are nice. So they'll be like, okay, this one is a foreigner, obviously. So they gesticulate just to let you know that this place you are is not where you're supposed to be. And generally, they are very nice people. Like, you would think that they would be mean because of their culture, but they're so accommodating. Their hospitality is unparalleled. That was a place where I knew how to entertain guests. You can't go to someone's house, even if it was unannounced. You come there, they are giving you dates, desserts, they're giving you even 3-course meals. They are very good at entertaining. Just think about the Middle East and the Mediterranean. They are very good at that. They just have a platter of food for you to just dig in. So that was where I learned how to entertain. I love to entertain people, but I have a small space for entertainment. But if I have a big house, it is just for entertaining people. So you're welcome to my house. At the time that I was there, women were not allowed to drive, but that was lifted, that ban was lifted in June 2018, and I heard now that people are allowed to drive. So kudos to the new king. He let that happen, because then women were not allowed to drive. So male chaperones will always follow them around, or you know, just carry them around. And you know how it is when your spouse takes you shopping. Man just wants to go in, pick out all that's on the shopping list and go out. Woman wants to go in and try some things and look at some things and consider some things and admire some things, buy things that are not on the list and do other things and just be there. But they were cramping our style. They were all wives were complaining about that one. We had to just be in the schedule of the males, except when they're just very lenient with us and they want to splurge on their time. Then we also have the time to just move around. That was culture shock number 4. Culture shock number 5 was the fact that there were no churches there. At the place that I was staying, there were no churches there. Now I heard that there are churches, especially in the capital, Riyadh, and even the cosmopolitan city, Jeddah. There are churches there. But when we were there, we didn't have any church, and it was like, whoa, this is so different from what I was used to. I was a typical church girl, but hello, pandemic. I'm in Grenada, and after the pandemic, I just found that for 1 year plus, I had not gone to church. So sometimes when these things happen, don't always think that it's the worst thing that happens to you, okay? you always have to look for a way. Now we worship online. Then also in Saudi Arabia, we worshipped online, but weren't even consistent because we didn't even know what could stream and what could not stream. There are some restricted sites in Saudi Arabia that you could actually not get access to. So you would actually use a VPN for those sites or not even go there for peace sake. So it was just another hurdle for me, something I wasn't used to. But like I said, the pandemic now has shown me that you don't have to go to church all the time to prove your love to God. We kind of found our way around it. Then kids education. Oh my goodness, I heard it was so expensive. At the time where I was there, we just started our family, so Sean and Aliyah, they had not gone into school. Aliyah was just 2, Sean was just a baby, so it was like we didn't have any need to go to school. But I heard their international schools are very, very expensive. At the time, they say 13,000 riyal per term. So for a year, it was like 39,000 riyals for an international school. So I would put on the screen the conversion so that you can do the math in US dollars, so that you know exactly what people were paying for schools. There were cheaper schools like the normal schools, but if you are a Christian, you kind of stick out like a sore thumb in those kind of settings. So you kind of go towards maybe Indian schools and schools that are not Islamic schools. So that was just it. And we knew that if we needed to start schooling for the kids, we needed to leave Saudi Arabia quickly. Also noticed that pets were always roaming, especially cats. We hardly saw dogs, and I felt that because of their religion, where they see dogs as unclean, you don't have to have dogs around, especially when you have to do prayers often. I can't even remember any time I saw a dog. But cats, there were a lot of stray cats. We even had one that was always coming to our door, and I'm not a pet person, but that was my first-hand experience of having a pet. The cat would come to the door, I would give the cat sardines and milk, and like it was the first time. The second time it came, and it became a routine. Then we traveled for the holiday, and by the time we got back, we found out that the cat was dead. That was a sad moment, and then I understood how emotional it is to have a pet in the house. So that is one thing. Culture shock number 7, the fact that they had a lot of stray cats around. Now the dressing. The dressing was actually not a problem to me because it just saved me a lot of money. I didn't have to buy a lot of things. But funny enough, they sold a lot of designer wares, even nice wares that they are not designer brands, but they were nice clothes. So Saudi Arabia is known for getting the best things. Like everything that we shopped in Saudi Arabia, they had a long span. Durability is top notch. Their quality is top notch, from cable TV to clothes to shoes. Everything there is top notch. They had the best quality as far as I'm concerned, because I have been buying things from UK, US, and I can clearly see the difference. And it was also tax-free, so you can imagine getting a lot of things without paying tax for it. So it was something that I really, really loved. But with all this dressing, you have to put it under a black abaya. So why waste your money, you know? If you want to show off, I think bags were the thing, and that was where I got this thing about showing off with my bags. The designer bags there stand out, so I got some of it there because they were quality. Like you would hardly see something fake there. If it's fake, it's coming from a minority shop that is run by a foreigner, but not from them. The fact that After buying all these things, you have to put it under the black abaya. That was a problem. Then moving around, I had this thing I used to cover my face, but I didn't use it all the time. But I always put it in my bag just for security's sake. You know, you could go to a mall, and I always picture this thing. This is why you don't watch a lot of crime movies. I pictured that somebody could just come, are you a Christian or a Muslim? And the best thing is just for you to cover your face so that you don't stick out like a sore thumb. That's just it. So I had that in my bag so that in case there was something like that, I needed to just cover my face. That's all. Like I said earlier, the weather was so hot. It's so hot that the water from your faucet is piping hot, so you don't need to turn on the heater. Then on the flip side, oh my god, when it's cold, it's really cold. And it doesn't snow, but some parts of Saudi Arabia, I heard that it snows. But the one I know I have experienced are hailstorms. Hailstorms when it's very cold. In fact, after the hailstorms pour, that is how winter is ushered. I gave birth to my kids in winter, and it was so not funny. It was so cold, and they don't really have a central heating system. You have to have an electrical like thing you plug so that you heat up your house and all that. But man, it was cold. When it's cold, it's really cold. The winter sometimes goes to -5 degrees, yes, but it doesn't snow. So, and you know, it's a desert land, so you don't have trees that could soak up all the cold. Like, it's just the bare land and your house. I think I'll take the heat over the cold, because with the heat you can turn on the air conditioner. We are not paying any electrical bills, so you can run it 24/7 in your car and everything. So that was a plus. It would be better for you to be in the hot weather than in the cold. Social life, there was no social life for me, so this was one of the main reasons that I really wanted to get out. There was no social life for me, and I think if you have your community, you can make it happen. But I was in a place where we didn't have a lot of Nigerians. We just had like 2 at the time when I was there. It was like you are literally cut off from everybody. At first I was enjoying it because I was a newlywed, but when I started having kids and everything, I was like, no, I needed to mingle around and mingle with people, other parents and all that. So that was what even inspired me to start my blog, because I was such a creative. Just imagine being a creative and you are just there, can't do anything, can't work, can't, you know. So that was how I started my blog, and it was just an outlet for me, because I was like, I was losing my mind. There was one time I was invited for a wedding, typical wedding. I didn't know what to expect. Do you know that all the men were in one part and all the women in another part? So we were in the women's side, the female side, and as you're coming in, they're telling you to drop your phones, so you're not supposed to take pictures. So all the women are with the bride. The bride is gaily dressed, beautifully dressed in her white wedding gown. So they alerted everybody that the groom is about to come meet his bride. So they turn off all the lights and he walks in like it's in the movie, very majestic. He walks in, then the imam kind of bonds them together and they get married. And after they get married and all that, it stays that way. Like we are in the dark, only the spotlight on them. Do you understand? So that's how the wedding goes. After a while, he goes back to his males and they party hard as much as they can. Then we, the ladies, the lights are turned on, we remove our bias and we party hard with the bride as much as we can. In all these things that I've said, I'm going to just list out everything that is good about Saudi Arabia. No taxes, great health care, like family orientation. Like when you're there, you know it's you and your family. No time for side chicks, no time for side boys, or what do you call them? No time for that. It's just you and your family. So we didn't plan to come to the Caribbean. We had our plans set, and this just came on my husband's laps to come to the Caribbean. At the same time, he had another job offer to go to. Looking at it, I was like, Middle East, Caribbean, Middle East, Caribbean, Middle East, Caribbean. Hello, sunshine. I'm coming to the Caribbean. I was like, I'm done with the Middle East. I wanted the life, but I know for sure that when it comes to retirement, that is a place to be. Just retire there. You have a quality life there. Nobody's going, especially when you're an empty nester. That is a place to be. You will not regret it. Trust me, the place is even opening up more. So there's so much fun things to do, especially in Riyadh and Jeddah and other smaller towns. So that is the end of my video. These are the reasons why I left Saudi Arabia to the sunshine. Anyway, I left sunshine to sunshine. But these are the reasons why I left Saudi Arabia, so that I could be free and wear my bikinis and move around and drive myself around and all that. And you guys have been kind. So that's the end of my video. Make sure you watch the other videos in my description box, and please like this video and share to your friend. From me to you is XOXO. Bye.